Nigeria established diplomatic ties with the United States in 1960, heightened with the first visit to Nigeria by an American president, Jimmy Carter, in 1981, under the Shagari administration. In 1999, following the enthronement of democracy, relations between Nigeria and the United States increased in regional peacekeeping and foreign policy objectives. In 2010, under U.S.-Nigeria Binational Commission, interest focused on good governance, transparency, integrity, energy and investment, Niger Delta, and regional security, among other high-stake issues. Under President Barack Obama's tenure, 2 U.S. Secretary of State have visited Nigeria, Hillary Clinton and now John Kerry. The Diaspora this week will therefore take a look at John Kerry's visit to Nigeria. We also have our Diasporan of the Week, news and your mails. Welcome to the Diaspora. I am Gabriel Odu. Let's begin our conversation with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, on the U.S. Secretary of State's visit to Nigeria. First tenure of President Barack Obama, we had Hillary Clinton as on the U.S. Secretary of State visiting. And second tenure of President Obama, we have John Kerry visiting as Secretary of State. What's happening? Why is he visiting?
Well, I think it's good because I think it shows the engagement of the United States with Nigeria. It shows their concern and it shows their friendship. So the visit more specifically was to follow up on previous engagements between the leaders, President Obama and our president. And we had a binational commission. We have a binational commission with the U.S. and Nigeria. And there are a number of things that have to be achieved. Also just to look to see where we were, what progress has been made, what more needs to be done, what more the U.S. can do, and and what has not been done.
Right. In terms of security, which is very paramount to Nigeria, what's the U.S. doing in this direction in terms of military and intelligence support?
Yes, there's a sharing of intelligence. Then also U.S. personnel are also supporting training and engaged in other complementary efforts to our military. So they're very present in our security engagements in the Northeast in particular. And also in the area of sharing intelligence, they are assisting us a great deal with that.
Right. The U.S. Secretary of State also visited the Sultan of Sokoto yesterday. So why that visit?
Yeah, I think to also talk, I think about the issues of extreme violence and indoctrination and so forth. So he gave a lecture while he was in Sokoto, and I think it was really to see with the authorities there, including the Sultan, what the situation is in the north. Well, of course, it's the northwest there, but basically to also just look at what more needs to be done from the U.S. perspective. I think they were keen to sort of indicate their support, but also at the same time, give some advice as to maybe what should be done, not necessarily in the military sphere, but also, with regards to just general education and the approach.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's leave security. We'll talk about economy. How well is the U.S. citizens being supported by the government to ensure that they invest in Nigeria? Was that part of discussions you had with him?
Yes, we talked about Nigeria being open for business, and of course our wish to have greater U.S. investment in Nigeria. They were looking at steps that the government should take at the macro level that they feel, would be a step in the right way, in the right direction in opening up the country for greater U.S. Investment. And so they're proposing that they should send some, officials, some personnel, economists, to maybe sit down with the Nigerian government and help in, elaborating a direction, an economic direction. So, embedding somebody here, at least for a certain period of time, to help in that macroeconomic policy formulation.
Is it in the spirit of AGOA or just looking at as we are striving for diversification of the economy?
Yeah, I think it's more macro than AGOA, but AGOA would certainly fit within that. But really just looking at a macro economic approach, or at least an input to macroeconomic policy formulation.
Right. Okay. This is still on the economy. The Nigerian citizens in the United States, they form a major economic bloc, giving remittances they send back home. Your visit, the visit of John Kerry, United States Secretary of State, to Nigeria, didn't you factor that in to see that how citizens are encouraged through policies and programs to ensure that they come to Nigeria, they remit to Nigeria, because the Nigerian economy needs more funds and other economic policies?
Yes, I mean we talked about the Nigerians in diaspora in the U.S., but the question of remitting funds is obviously something that the U.S. government per se would not, be involved in, in any kind of effort to make Nigerians in the U.S. remit funds to Nigeria. I think that the onus would lie with the Nigerian government in the sense that, not through any compulsion, but in the sense of, providing an enabling environment for them to do that, and going out ourselves, to facilitate the remittance of funds and to partner as best we can with Nigerians in the U.S. and to encourage them to invest in sovereign wealth funds and other such things in Nigeria. So it's really, for us to also do our part, as government, to provide the options and to really show that the investments would yield, good returns and would go a long way to helping in the development of the country.
Right. Yes. From my opening, I said under President Barack Obama's administration, 2 undersecretaries have visited Nigeria. Mm-hmm. So, are we going to see President Obama in Nigeria before he leaves office?
Well, that's a question you have to ask them, the Americans. We have absolutely no say in that matter, of course.
Don't you think it would have been worthwhile for him to visit Nigeria?
Yes. Yes, of course, I think it would be worthwhile. But whether they think it would be worthwhile is for them to decide.
To wind up this interview, what's your assessment of that, of John Kerry's visit in line with Nigeria's foreign policy?
I think it's a very positive thing, because our foreign policy puts a great premium on security issues, and so his visit is is a message, I think, to the outside world that the U.S. still believes in Nigeria and is still committed to Nigeria and is still a friend of Nigeria, and I think it's also an opportunity for us to really play a role in security issues, not just in Nigeria, but also in Africa, and even also in the framework of the United Nations. So I think it's extremely positive. It shows that Nigeria is a player on the international scene, and is still regarded as such by countries that matter.
Thank you very much. It's nice talking with you.
Very nice talking to you too. Thank you.
Next on our lineup is the Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Shehu Sani, talking to us on the whole essence of Kerry's visit to Nigeria.
His presence in Sokoto, which is in quotes seen to be the spiritual capital of Muslims in northern Nigeria, is symbolic. And issues which he raised about extremism, about the need for tolerance, are of importance to northern Nigeria and Nigeria as a whole. As a country, we have in the last 7 to 8 years been faced with serious insurgency in the northeastern part of Nigeria that has consumed, from a conservative figure, over 20,000 lives and has displaced millions of people. At this very time, Nigeria needs the support from countries of the world, most particularly the United States. There are issues which John Kerry, even if his government is on his last days, but could lay a groundwork for continuity with the next administration. Nigeria is desirous of the United States lifting the arms embargo that is still in place. Nigeria wants the United States to continue to buy its crude oil. Nigeria wants the United States to continue to show interest in developmental activities in this country and to help it in its war against terror in the northeastern part of Nigeria.
Looking at the northeast, of greater importance to us is the issue of malnutrition affecting over 12 million people in the northeast, especially children, and also issue of intelligence gathering to show up the dynamics in the northeast. Do you think U.S. is doing enough in that direction?
Well, the northeastern part of Nigeria, particularly the states of Yobe, Borno, Taraba, and Adamawa, have become a large and huge expanse of humanitarian importance to Nigeria and to the world today. Millions of people have been displaced by the insurgents and the counter-insurgency going on. And it is evidently clear that the existing national humanitarian structures and emergency structures have been unable to provide the necessary facilities in terms of food, educational, and other hospitable equipment to the IDPs. It's also very unfortunate that that part of the world is still on couldn't have the status to which other nations with similar situations have been getting from the United Nations. Well, in general sense, I believe that a lot can still be done. This administration has been able to dislodge the insurgents from areas where the host flags and unleash their version of Islamic rule. And many areas in the country, almost 90% have been liberated. And those very areas that were liberated deserve to be restored back to shape in terms of getting back the necessary infrastructure and then materially and psychologically preparing the IDPs to return back to their homes. So the world can still do a lot, and particularly the United States. The war against the insurgents is not over because they are still located within the mountainous areas between Nigeria and Cameroon. And all that has still going on is the bombing on some suspected targets, but the war is not over. So support for our campaign to end the terror is very much important, and also support for the IDPs in terms of providing the necessary nutritional and other supports they need to restore them back to their homes is also very much needed. The particular interest of the Secretary of State, by extension representing his government and his country,
Right.
On the issue of the North is key and central to the peace, the unity and stability of Nigeria. The northern part of Nigeria today is infested with a lot of things that are bad. Religious extremism, herdsmen violence, and then we also have cases of intolerance from different segments of the society. We also have problems with our educational system, infrastructure, and the need to return the region back to work. So the engagement of the Secretary of State with the Sultan of Sokoto is necessary. That will send a clear message to the people in the northern part of Nigeria that the world is interested in what is happening and they will also be supportive. And it's also sending a clear message that intolerance, religious violence and bigotry have no place in the modern world. And also the very fact that the U.S. Secretary of State and the United States is representing the U.S. is engaging northern political leaders and power brokers on the issue of education, industrialization, agriculture, and the economy in general, I think is emphasizing the very fact that economic development in the region is key to national development, and that efforts to end poverty and to support entrepreneurs and also to support the economy of the North is also key to the unity, peace, and economic development of the whole country.
To Nigeria, America is a very important country. It's a country that not only a country in the third world, but even countries in Europe and Asia would like to partner with America, with the United States of America, in terms of economy, military, etc., etc. Nigeria-U.S. relationship started just a year after Nigeria's independence. Precisely July 1961, that was when Nigeria established its official diplomatic relation with the United States of America. And it is not just a coincidence, or it's not just a mere relationship. If you look at today's Nigeria, you see that the presidential system of government Nigeria put in its constitution is similar to that of America. So we share the same presidential system, and I'm sure we took it over from America. And also, until just recently, about a year ago, America has been the major buyer of Nigeria's crude oil. Until recently, when America discovers its shale oil, and that is when Nigeria has left Nigeria's crude to India. But otherwise, the America has been the major buyer of Nigeria's crude oil. So the partnership is not new, The partnership is strategic. The partnership is beneficial to both countries. And thirdly, President Obama's foreign policy in the last 3 years has been that of reconciliation, has been that of non-war, has been that of dialogue. I want to underscore the importance of a foreign minister to America's system of government. Secretary of State, the American system, is almost second to the president. So, visit of Kerry to Nigeria is the third since he became the Secretary of State of the United States. The purpose of this visit has to do with the security of this country. That is to say that if America wasn't satisfied with the effort the president is making in the area of security, this visit wouldn't have been there at all. So this sends a message to the president of Nigeria and Nigerians that America, to a certain degree, is satisfied with the effort of government in the area of security. And that is why America is here to say more grease to your elbow, Nigeria, and we are ready to give you more support. In fact, there has always been support since the coming of this administration. There has always been support by the United States to Nigeria in the area of security. We are aware of some technical intelligence information provided to Nigerian security agencies on how to fight terrorism from both left, right, and center. So this is just to reassure Nigeria that, look, you are doing well and we want you to do more. This is some of the major impact of this visit. But to be precise, Nigeria stands to benefit from this visit. One, there is no doubt when a Secretary of State of the United States visits a country, it's just like Obama himself comes. We have heard his commitment. Number one, he told us that America will continue to assist Nigeria and will in fact double its assistance to Nigeria in terms of security by way of fighting terrorism. One. Secondly, we have been told that he has told a number of gatherings when he made organizations, the Sultan and so on and so forth, that America will help Nigeria in its effort to diversify its economy. The third benefit is, once again, America's commitment to help Nigeria to bring back its looted resources that has been taken away by some leaders in the past. I think these three major issues are quite enough to say that the visit is timely, the visit is beneficial to this country, and the visit says that yes, Nigeria is on course in terms of fighting terrorism.
If you are just joining us, this is the Diaspora on the NTA.
NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Our email remains thediasporanta@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is @thediaspora or @odugabe. Or you can text only to +234 8033 114000. See you next week. Bye.